Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. Reminder of our top stories. Parents of aid worker killed by Boko Haram insurgents refuse to accept news of their daughter's death, demand return of her body as proof. Outrage trails killing of another aid worker by Boko Haram insurgents as federal lawmakers seek urgent action from executive to ensure the release of persons still in captivity. Former Minister of Solid Minerals, Dr. Fayemi, promises better days for the people as he's sworn in as governor of Ekiti State for the second time. And Turkey widens search for clues to the disappearance of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app has an Eyewitness feature that can be used to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap on swipe to reveal the menu and then follow the instructions. Now, here are some of the pictures that you sent into our Eyewitness portal. Let's begin with this image from Akwa Ibom State. If we have those images showing the flooded state of the NSCDC office. Eyewitness reporter says this is the condition of the premises whenever it rains, and he's calling on the state government to do something about it. Still on flooding is this picture from Mubi, North Local Government area of Adamawa State. Eyewitness reporter says the road is flooded whenever it rains, and he wants the drainage system fixed. The final picture we have is from Iwo Road in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, showing an overloaded vehicle with passengers sitting on it. Our Eyewitness reporter says this is dangerous and it's become the norm, and he wants it to be stopped. Thanks for all your pictures, and do keep them coming. Now let's take another look at the troubling state of affairs there concerning the aid worker. And joining me live now from Abuja is retired military officer and security expert, Major General Cecil Esekaigbe. Thanks a lot for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you, Gemma, for having me.
Yeah, let me just start by saying that our thoughts and prayers are with the family of Hawa Liman at this time. It's difficult to talk about it, but we have to. Let's start with a reaction from the ICRC saying that we will have to rethink what we can do with respect to the security of our personnel. That's what they've said. Now, as one who has experience with combat, what sort of security measures are possible in areas where they're vulnerable, clearly?
You see, unfortunately, in this non-state actor conflict, the only caveat for the protection of aid workers and some other stuff like that is through the Geneva Convention of 1949, the Common Article 3, and the Additional Protocol 1 and 2. But with this kind of element, the Islamic State of West African Province, they are not in their right senses, so how does this law apply to them? So it is now left for the host state to devise a very, very security strategy to protect these harmless people who are doing humanitarian work. By that I mean, if the protocols of the United Nations are not working and the actors involved are not elements that listen to the voice of reason, so we have to be very, very careful and demand a very, very good strategy, security-wise, to check this menace.
Yes, you say we have to be careful, but when a hostage is taken like that and it's a race against time for life, how should something like that be handled? We see both the government and the ICRC saying that, they did all that they could. But, we're told by other security experts that, sometimes it's difficult. How?
You see, this is the danger of dancing with a bear, because when you stop dancing, the bear does not stop. People are very careful internationally about negotiating with terrorists, because most of the times, the reason for their actions is nothing but how to get money. And once you start it at once, it becomes a recurrent decimal in their security calculations. So that is why the ICRC said this is not in their character to negotiate with terrorists. When you start negotiation and they get ransom out of it, it's going to be a continuous process. and we are going to be in a vicious circle. And the only way to get out of it is to take a decision, either to strategically route them out or, something else. Because when you go into the game of ransom payment and these kind of negotiations, you do not really get the result you need at most times.
Okay, anytime we talk about the progress on the war on terror and insurgency, we hear that, the war has moved from harder targets, maybe capturing lands, etc., to softer targets, and that's sort of a gauge of progress. But when you look at the kind of damage that's done, even with soft targets like this, what do you think is the way out of it, really?
The way out of it is to devise what they call the concept of smart power. That is a combination of hard power and soft power. The military has done a lot in their own one, but now the political is what we are heading to. So political decisions strategically has to be taken. Most necessarily, you have to win the battle of heart and mind. When you're not able to win the battle of heart and mind, there's always a break in trust and confidence value chain. And when you have this, it's going to be a complex issue. And that is where we are going to. So what you do now is to combine the element of soft power and hard power. When it's difficult, when it's easy to hit them, we hit them. When you are going to win the battle of heart and mind, you do it. So the combination of these two elements is needed at this critical time.
All right, Security Excellence Major General Cecile Sekaibe, thanks for sharing your thoughts with us on the news at 10 tonight. From security, we move over to a bit of politics, and Dr. Fayemi has been sworn in as the governor of Ekiti State. The governor was sworn in alongside his deputy, Fayemi. Dr. Fayemi takes over after defeating his closest rival, Kolapo Eleka, candidate of the People's Democratic Party.
It is the swearing-in of the new governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Fayemi, and his deputy, Bisi Egbeyemi.
God our Father in heaven, please grant our leaders the serenity to accept the things they cannot change.
Leaders of the All Progressives Congress at the national level are not the only ones here. Some APC governors are also present to honor one of their own, who was once governor of the state between 2010 and October 2014.
To mark
traditional rulers are also present.
This parade, protocols.
The deputy governor is first to take the oath of office.
And that I will devote. Myself to the service. And well-being of the people of Nigeria. So help me God.
So help me God.
And then the governor.
I. Your name? Do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Governor Fayemi wants the people of Ekiti State to look forward to good days.
The governance agenda of this administration is therefore compelled to focus on 4 areas through which we will deliver our promises to the people.
He, however, calls for the support of all at home and abroad.
We take full ownership of the challenges ahead of us, and together we strongly believe that we shall overcome. You can also be assured that I will not rest till the burning issue of payment of workers' salaries is fully and firmly addressed.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who is here represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, assures the state of the federal government's assistance in the development of the state.
Ekiti is going to benefit in the 2019 budget from a comprehensive rehabilitation and dualization of Ado-Ekiti to Akure Road.
As the clock starts ticking, Governor Fayemi promises to deliver to the state programs that will bring development and make Ekiti the envy of all in 4 years.
Well, joining me live now from Ado-Ekiti is the Executive Governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Fayemi. Thanks for joining us on the news at 10, and congratulations, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Joma, for having me.
Okay, now this is the second time coming for you, and you've promised the Ekiti people better days ahead. So what are you going to do differently in the next 4 years?
Well, I tried to explain the 4 areas we're going to focus on this time around. We are an agrarian state, but we have to do agric differently. We have to move from just simply farming to agribusiness. And we have started this process in my last time in office when we established the Youth in Commercial Agriculture program. We need to expand that. We need to work with other commercial farmers, and we need to encourage our younger ones to take into agribusiness. I also spoke about entrenching social investments. Again, these were things that we did in our last time in office that have now become policy at the federal level. Social security benefit for the elderly, the youth volunteer scheme, free health program for the under 5, the over 60, the pregnant women, and the people with disabilities. I also talked about entrenching knowledge economy in Ekiti State. Ekiti is known as the fountain of knowledge, but we haven't lived up to that name in the recent past. We have a duty, indeed a responsibility, to turn education into the antidote for poverty. And I believe this government is best placed to do that by improving teacher quality, by improving on information technology, by deepening the work we've done on the Ekiti Knowledge Zone, by improving on technical and vocational education, and by ensuring that we connect the town to the gown and bring in more institutions that are going to promote functional education in our state. And finally is the creation of integration infrastructure development. You heard the Secretary to the Government talk about some infrastructure projects that will come into Ekiti in the 2019 budget. I can confirm to you that the rail is being extended to Ekiti. And the Federal Minister of Transportation was here today as well, and he reassured our people that work is ongoing on the Lagos-Ibadan, which is going to be extended to Ekiti very soon. So on all of these grounds, we would make a difference in the lives of our people. Okay. But the immediate challenge for us that we want to concentrate on is clearing the backlog of salaries that is being owed to our workers. Okay. Because and if there's the engine room for our development.
Sorry, Your Excellency, if I can just...
If they're not motivated with regular payment of salary, we won't be able to really get the kind of development we want.
Okay, if I can just cut you up there. I mean, you cut in briefly. You talked about things you've done before, some projects right now, and salaries being your priority for the moment. But you're taking over at a time where the state has a huge debt overhang, so we hear, reported to be about over 100 billion. What's the status of the debt profile of the state right now, and how will that feed in to your plans?
Well, the reality is we have a debt challenge. But governance cannot stop simply because we have debt owed by the state. We have to find a way to reschedule the debts that we have. We have to find a way to examine whether these debts are actually legitimate debts in the first instance. We have to ensure that we create other opportunities of increasing the revenue of the state so that we can meet our debt obligation and at the same time meet our revenue targets and ensure that we do not lag behind in the developmental projects that we want for our people. It would require innovativeness, it would require political will, it would require determination. But then again, no one has ever accused me of not being resilient or not being determined to achieve my objective. That's why I'm back here, and I believe God helping us, we would be able to tackle both challenges.
All right. The Executive Governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Fayemi, thanks for joining us on the news at 10 tonight, and good luck to you. And when the news at 10 returns, federal government seeks to fast-track completion of infrastructure projects across the country through its public-private partnership arrangements. That's on Business News. With John Scott.